version of a bobcat. So if you didn't already hear, African Serval. Her name is Nima, which is Swahili for, I believe, graceful. We have another one, Zuri, who's the beautiful one. Although Nima is also quite beautiful. She's more beautiful than graceful from what I've found. I've worked with a few servals, and she is one that,
Staring down the squirrel.
There's a squirrel over there, so we got to do a little looky at that. She is always on the look for anything that looks like food, and you can imagine a squirrel is quite a tasty looking thing to a serval. So we got to make sure she's not going to go zooming off after that real quick. Oh yeah, she is hungry. And she does, yeah. So that squirrel should be safe over there as long as he is a smart squirrel and stays over there exactly. We've had a few times where some of these squirrels are a little more ambitious than that, but now we got her back on the speed. So yeah, this is Nima. She's got the super duper long legs, and just like a bobcat, that teeny little tail on the back. It's almost like a raccoon's tail. It's got the almost little stripies, and it's a little fluffier than like a bobcat tail. And those super duper long legs of her makes her an excellent jumper. So she's not going to show us any of that right now because she is 16 years old. So she is not doing any high jumps anytime soon. But in her heyday, just like other servals, they can jump 12 feet straight in the air. So I'm 6 feet tall. That's 2 of me she would be able to jump right on top of. That's pretty crazy, right? I've seen her do 10 feet once pretty well, and that was when we were walking her in our service yard and a big metal pipe fell and she went zoom. It looks like she just breaks gravity. Oh, there's a rabbit too? We got all the tasty morsels just doing a little parade for you. Oh my goodness. But you can see she is in hunt mode. What they do, we'll talk a little bit about their prey grabbing abilities while we're here, is the first thing they do is they get down real low, use those big ears to triangulate exactly where their prey is. You see those ears are almost as big as a lion's ears as they are right now. In perspective to her body, they'd be about the size of almost like a big old plate, like a dinner plate practically. Quite a living Mickey Mouse, if you will. But they allow her to hear so many sort of things, including rodents under the ground. So she can hear through a foot of dirt to hear a little rodent in its nest. And she uses those super duper long arms of hers to put them right down into the burrow and grab any little tasty morsels and bring them right up. Oh, yeah, where are you from? Another rabbit? Oh my goodness. They are, so self-preservation is not something the rabbits and squirrels around here know very well, apparently. Fortunately, we have that leash, and Nima is, despite still being a very wild animal, we work with her every day to make sure she is not only comfortable with coming out here, but at least listens to us a little bit when those tasty morsels are running about. Because she does know that the easy food is right over here, and she is, being a cat, all about the easy food. If you're wondering what she's being fed right now, both Beck and I have been wearing gloves because it is very gross what we're feeding her. It is literally just, honestly, what you're seeing around here. She's getting a little bit of rabbit, quail, different rodents like rat and mice, chick, along with a little bit of fish and ground meat in there too, and then a novel protein every once in a while as well. And it is all raw, not cooked. It has all the guts in it and all the legs and feathers and beaks and everything else to give her a more well-rounded diet in there. And she loves every little bit of it. I like to make sure, some people don't wear the gloves around here. That's kind of a personal preference. It looks like a horror scene afterwards though, because it is quite bloody. There we are. So something cool that we can see kind of as she has her back turned to us, she is one of only 2 cats in the world that has both spots and stripes. So a lot of cats have spots. I remember you said a cheetah. That's one cat that has spots as well. And can you tell me a cat that has stripes? Bobcat? They're a little more spotty. We have an animal here. Tiger, exactly. So tigers are known for their stripes all down their body. These guys have spots and stripes, and the other cat is called an ocelot. If you have ever heard of one of those, they're a little bit smaller or they're about, honestly, the same weight as Nima, but they're more like little compact guys. They live almost like little mini jaguars in South American rainforest, whereas she is much more plains and grasslands little lady. And her favorite hunting strategy, we talked a little bit about being able to reach into rodent holes and pull out mice, especially naked mole rats make up most of their diet. But they'll also do, have you ever seen foxes hunting in the snow where they go and they jump straight up and they go head first into the snow? She pretty much does the exact same thing with tall grass in Africa. So in a big tall grass field, you can't really do a lot of just straight over grabbing something because there's a bunch of grass in the way. So she triangulates that position of that bird in the grass or that rodent or that snake or whatever she wants to hunt, and she goes straight up in the air and lands right down on top of it. And even though she lives in Africa, where there are a lot of bigger prey like antelope and gazelle and all that, she's really not big enough to eat any of them. She could maybe get like a teeny tiny little baby of like a springbok or something little, but as soon as Mama came by, even though Mama's pretty much the same size as her, that would scare her right away. She is not there to make any fights. She is a little too spindly to do really any damage to anything bigger. Nor is she really put up with able to defend herself against any of the bigger predators. So she is right in the middle of the food chain in terms of predators. Think of what are some other big things that live in Africa that might want to eat another thing. Got like lion is exactly that. Lions, hyenas, leopards, cheetahs, leopards again. Wild dogs, jackals, that's what I was trying to say. And even though half of those are cousins to this little lady, they would still make a meal out of her if given the chance. So she's using those big ears not only to listen for her prey, but to listen for predators. So that's why she's always looking around. Even though we don't have a whole lot of lions or hyenas here, she's still always got that kind of innate worried ability to just like listen for anything. And if she did find one of those predators, first thing she's gonna do is she's gonna hightail it out of there. She is the second fastest cat right behind the cheetah. So cheetah can go around like up to like 70 miles an hour. She can go up to around like 50 miles an hour, which seems a lot slower, but I don't know if you've ever seen a car going 50 miles an hour. It's still pretty fast. And that's faster than all those lazy lions that can do a burst really quick up to maybe 40, but she can still get out of there. If that doesn't work, she can jump, we said 12 feet straight in the air, so she can maybe get up into a tree where those bigger, like especially canines, can't get to her. And she has one little special defense too. It's a little more passive, but you'll see every once in a while when she turns the back of her ears, those white bars there, those have two purposes. One of them is to be fake eye spots. So if she doesn't see that leopard coming behind her, because they're very stealthy, it's going to be looking, and it's always going to come towards her back. But if that leopard confuses those little white spots as eyes, like, oh, that animal sees me, I either am going to try to go around it to find its back where her actual eyes are, or maybe it's going to not even bother, because a lot of cats are lazy. They don't want to fight or chase after something that's going to run away from them immediately. So that gives her a second to maybe, while they're like confused about it, she might hear them and see them, and then she can take off. And the other thing is they're called follow me spots. So if she was there with a litter of kittens in the tall grasses and she's very camouflaged, she would just completely blend in, or kittens couldn't find her and follow her along. So those little spots in there are a great little thing that the kittens can follow. It's like, oh, there's where Mama is. I'm going to follow her right behind there. Ooh. Any questions about Nima at the moment?
How old is she?
She is 16 years old. She is quite old for a serval. They have a similar lifespan to that of domestic cats in the care of humans. In their natural habitat, 10 is lucky. In the care of humans, late teens, early 20s, where she's showing no signs of slowing down. We got her on a glucosamine and chondroitin to help with her joints as she's getting older, but she's doing quite well. What's your question? Oh, the clicking noise. That's a very good question. So that actually isn't Nima. That is our trainer, Becca here. She has a clicker. All of our mammal trainers here have a little clicker. If you've ever done clicker training for your dog, same exact thing. We do positive reinforcement clicker training with all of our animals that can hear. So our otters, our tigers, some of our lizards, our armadillos, all are clicker trained. And all it means is that when you hear that click, that means she did the thing we wanted and she's gonna get a treat for it. So it's kind of a way to communicate like, hey, you just did a good job, you're getting some food. Good question. What's your question, sir? Well, can we see her jump? Unfortunately, she is a bit older now, so she really only jumps up to some of her shelves. She did a bunch of jumping earlier today, so we kind of have a quota on it. I do appreciate you checking in on that. And even now, she can't jump as high as she used to. Like I said, she, in her heyday, 12 feet straight in the air. I saw her do 10 feet once. But now, like, we can maybe, like, warming her up, get her about 6 feet. And we're worried if she jumps too high and she lands bad, her old little bones, we just don't want her coming down hard on that.